Wood shavings?
I found him in the driver's side footwell.
Okay, maybe Parker's not the only one with hobbies. Maybe Vivian could be into woodworking.
NCIS star Mark Harmon remains synonymous with the role of Leroy Jethro Gibbs, and for the better part of 2 decades and 18 seasons, he fought crime for the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. While Harmon's prolific career spans almost 50 years, acting wasn't even a blip of an option on Harmon's radar of prospects when he started off. So, in today's video, let's see why Harmon dominated his co-stars on the Battle of the Network Stars. First off, the start of NCIS's Mark Harmon's career. To the outsider looking in at the situation, it probably seemed logical that the future thespian would pursue a professional career in sports. Mark Harmon certainly had the pedigree for it. Harmon's father, Tom, played college football at Michigan and won the Heisman Trophy in 1940 for his contributions as a running back. Meanwhile, Mark excelled in his own right as an option quarterback running the wishbone formation for UCLA, and he led the team to a 17-5 record during his 2 seasons of play, according to the National Football Foundation. Surprisingly, despite his athletic abilities, Harmon planned to try his luck in law school rather than professional football. Fortunately for Gibbs fans, Harmon's sister dated and later married to Ricky Nelson back in the day, and that relationship led to Harmon's first acting role on Ozzy's Girls. But did you know that Harmon's athletic and acting abilities combined to make him a standout performer on Battle of the Network Stars in the 1980s? Following up, Harmon killed it on Battle of the Network Stars. Battle of the Network Stars premiered back in 1976, and the TV special pitted actors from the CBS, NBC, and ABC television networks against one another in a number of athletic competitions. Harmon made his debut on Battle of the Network Stars 11 in 1981, and as shown above, he was then starring on Flamingo Road, the NBC romantic drama. During his first appearance on Battle of the Network Stars, Harmon's athletic ability, all thanks to his days as an option quarterback at UCLA, allowed him to absolutely dominate the 3-on-3 football contest between his NBC squad and the CBS team. On defense, the actor made an immediate impact as he intercepted a pass and took a potential score away from the opposition. Later, the former UCLA standout burned his defender in the back of the end zone and caught a touchdown pass to lead NBC to victory. He returned to star on the television special a total of 3 more times from 1982 until 1984, but it's not the on-field accomplishments the actor reveled in. In fact, Harmon was rather stunned by all the great sports figures he met as a result. Harmon said that the best thing was when you look back at it all. Speaking of his time on the TV special in an interview with another participant, Tony Danza, via YouTube, the former NCIS star recalled he had dinner with him and Marcus Allen at Mateo's in Westwood, and even Sugar Ray Robinson walked in. Next up, Brian Dietzen was hesitant to co-write an episode of NCIS for fear of overstepping. For fans of the iconic episode television staple NCIS, Brian Dietzen's chief medical examiner, Jimmy Palmer, is known and loved as the medical pro assisting in and conducting autopsies for what seems like an eternity. A veteran of the popular procedural since his first appearance toward the end of Season 1 back in 2004, Dr. Palmer quickly establishes himself as a socially awkward yet extremely competent forensic authority, charged with helping to unravel the causes of death behind a daunting parade of variously dispatched victims. At first, coming on board the series as part of the NCIS investigatory team in the role of assistant to his predecessor CME, Dr. Donald, aka Ducky Mallard, played by actor David McCallum, Palmer has stayed on the show for over 340 episodes. Seen as a more or less auxiliary presence for the initial seasons, Dietzen's role on the show would gradually expand to present the young doc with more responsibilities over the years, culminating with his appointment to the CME position following Ducky's resignation in the 16th season. One of the most seasoned veteran actors on the series, as well as an established writer, Dietzen said that he was a bit reluctant to take on script writing duties on NCIS when the opportunity finally presented itself. Not to mention, Dietzen viewed writing for NCIS as a daunting responsibility. As it turns out, Brian Dietzen made his feature film script writing debut as co-writer of the 2012 film Congratulations, but he says another matter was an actor writing for a series they starred in. As he told Variety recently about co-writing the NCIS's 2022 episode The Helpers, most actors would generally rather direct than pen down a script. In this regard, Dietzen said that Rocky Carroll directed a lot of episodes of our show, talking of the actor who plays NCIS director Leon Vance. Dietzen added that Carroll was absolutely phenomenal, but he explained that there wasn't exactly a sign-up sheet for the actors who would want to do this. Further, he added that after working with the NCIS ensemble for so many years, it seemed like a natural progression to write for the series. He recalled that coming up with something and putting words in the mouth of these characters just seemed to make a lot of sense. But once Steve Binder, the showrunner, had cleared him to create what became The Helpers, the prospect was frankly quite intimidating. Dietzen said that they had one of the most talented and underappreciated writing staffs on TV, so he thought that writing for the show might be seen as hubris, and he didn't want to overstep. But the experience of crafting a story for NCIS was a positive one for Dietzen, as the actor told ET Online that he couldn't be more proud. Moving on, Brian Dietzen teased exciting new storyline on NCIS. The talented actor recently teased an exciting upcoming storyline on the program as he celebrated the strong ratings on NCIS. In the meantime, fans couldn't help but guess what it was all going to be about. Taking to Twitter, Brian shared an article from Deadline which stated that the show was in the lead for CBS's fall ratings, alongside Chicago Fire and FBI Most Wanted. Apart from the news story, Brian wrote, "Amazing, 20 seasons in, and NCIS is still on top. Huge thanks to all of you who continue to support and watch our show. We've got plenty of exciting stuff headed your way for the rest of the season." Not surprisingly, fans were quick to comment on the post, with many guessing that Mark Harmon would be reprising his famous role as Leroy Gibbs. One wrote that Gibbs might be making a cameo, while another commented, "Gibbs, Gibbs, Gibbs, please come back to us." A third fan added that remaining on top, despite the loss of Gibbs, spoke to the caliber of the series' writing staff, and we couldn't agree more. Brian has been playing Jimmy Palmer on NCIS since back in 2004, having first landed the role as a guest appearance, before carving out his career in the show for almost 2 decades. He recently opened up about his time on the show in an interview with Looper and reflected on the big change following Harmon's departure. Finally, NCIS alludes to Mark Harmon's departure and possible return in latest episode. NCIS fans were truly thrown for a loop when series lead Mark Harmon, aka Special Agent Leroy Jethro Gibbs, announced his departure from the series in season 19. Despite this, the show isn't shying away at all from making references to the iconic role, as evident in the recently aired fall finale installment. The episode featured Sean Murray's character, Timothy McGee, reviving the plotline of his long-running hobby as a writer. He made a reference to the central character of his story, Agent Tibbs, clearly based on his boss, also mentioning that Gibbs was currently in Alaska. The character's wife, Delilah McGee, who'd also appeared in the episode, even confirmed this, saying that he'd barely written a word since Gibbs left for Alaska, and that Gibbs wasn't what made him great. Jessica Knight, played by actress Katrina Law, got her first introduction to the joke, quipping that the lead character's name was Special Agent Tibbs. Timothy responded that Gibbs and Tibbs were wildly different people, before also adding that the novel's going great, and he's just having some trouble getting started. However, Sean made another final reference to the fate of Harmon's Gibbs by saying that LJ Tibbs was retired, so he has a new main character that he thinks fans will love just as much as he does. Fans were definitely enthusiastic about the nod to the long-running lead and hoped for Mark's return to the Agent Gibbs mantle. One fan said that he understands the feelings of McGee and that they all still miss Gibbs. Another added that Delilah knows her husband was frustrated since Gibbs stayed in Alaska. The series' fall finale aired on December 5th and will go on break for the month, returning to screens in the new year on January 2nd, 2023. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of NCIS's Mark Harmon utterly dominating his fellow actors on the Battle of the Network Stars? Let us know in the comments below. Do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for similar videos. See you in the next one.